What's up, guys? No matter how many EDC videos I do, I always get the question, what about the Walther PDP? It seems like no matter how many videos I do, I cannot get away from this gun. It was a very hard decision between my Glock 19 and my Walther PDP. So in this video, we are going to do a showdown between these two guns. Let's get right into it. I want to start out this video by saying this was easily the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my EDC journey, because these two guns are absolutely phenomenal firearms. I love them both equally, but the problem was I could not carry them both. I am not somebody that likes to EDC rotate, and I would never EDC rotate these two guns, and we're going to get to that here in a second. I do want to say that their grip angles are identical. The pointability is identical with both of these firearms. For most of you out there, these are going to be some pretty thick girls. You know, there's nothing wrong with thick girls, especially when you have really big hands, right? But these two are pretty thick guns, so that could be or couldn't be, a turn off for some of you out there. They both come optics ready. So this one's the MOS version, and the PDP comes optics ready right out of the gate, which is awesome. Glock comes with their patented MOS plates that are absolute garbage, and Walther comes with no plates, but you have to go on their website and put in the QR code, and they will send you whatever optic plate you want. You get one of them for free. Let's go over what really sets these guns apart. And the more obvious one that I'm sure most of you already know by now is the trigger. The trigger really sets the PDP apart from the Glock. I would say this is easily the best trigger on the market. And you got to be careful with this trigger, however, especially if you're deciding between these two guns, because these triggers are vastly different from one another. Now, I am used to the Glock trigger. I train with this every time I go to the range. This is one of the guns I always bring and I always shoot. This is my EDC gun, so I'm always shooting a Glock trigger. Well, I've done with this gun here is I've had some NDs, some negligent discharges at the range. Good thing I was pointing down range when it happened, because this trigger is so nice. I cracked off one shot here, and then when I slacked out and I tried to go back to the wall, I sent off another shot before I was ready to shoot the second shot. And that has happened to me a couple of times, and that is because this trigger is so much lighter than this trigger right here. So that's why I kind of want to tell you, like, I would be wary about putting these in an EDC rotation, because both of these guns are very different from one another in terms of the trigger. So just be careful if you are going to EDC rotate these guns. Just make sure you take this to the range and you get used to this trigger again before you actually carry this gun. Next thing is bore axis. It seems like this is always a hotly debated topic, is bore axis. PDP, high bore axis. Glock 19, low bore axis. You're going to see if you go them side by side, I'll show you some B-roll here. It is significantly taller. PDP is significantly taller on the bore axis. Now, is that a big deal? I'm going to tell you right now, it is not a crazy big deal. It matters about that much, because on the recoil part of it, it is going to recoil about that much more than a Glock. And the reason that's important is because when I am firing this gun, okay, and it recoils, I do lose the dot temporarily, and then it comes back into the picture. Now, that's not a big deal as long as your dot is going north and south, north and south, north and south. Okay, if you're jumping all over the place when you're shooting, that is a big deal. That's obviously grip and something you need to work on. With the Glock 19, because of the smaller bore axis, there's less weight on top. When I fire, the dot stays in the window. Okay, it goes up to the top of the window, but it is still in the window. So that's very important, especially with your confidence with the gun, and you always want to know where that dot's at, okay? Making sure it stays within the window, and that is what the Glock is going to do. And the only time you're going to notice that is when you're doing rapid fire. Most of us out there are going to be able to run the guns, the Glock 19, slightly faster than the PDP. That is because it doesn't recoil as much, and you can get shots off a little bit faster depending on your skill level. I would work on your shooting first before you would worry about rapid fire, and I would recommend getting trained if you really want to get good at rapid fire. Next one, concealability between these two. Both of these guns, I think they both conceal really well. You got to keep in mind, remember we talked about this before, these are two really, really thick girls. Okay, some of you might not be able to conceal either one of these, and that's fine. I'm coming from a 6'3", about 200+ pound person. I can conceal both of these just fine. Okay, they don't have any issues in concealment. Everybody thinks that the Walther PDP is this big chunky monkey on top and it's just impossible to conceal. That is far from the truth. You can conceal this gun, no problem. Okay, but Glock 19, for me, this is personal preference, conceals a lot better than the PDP or any other gun that I've tried. I think personally the biggest reason is because it is a 2x4. Everybody gives them a hard time about being a brick or a 2x4, and in my opinion, that's the best quality of the gun. Because not only am I able to shoot this gun really well, but it also conceals a lot better than those other guns that have those palm swells on them. It's okay if you like the palm swells, it's fine. Just remember, it's going to stick out a little bit on the handle when you have palm swells. Okay, if you have no palm swells on the gun, okay, it's going to conceal just a touch better than those other guns are. But in terms of comfort for everyday carrying the gun for a long time, the Glock 19 just feels better on my waistband. Now, let's talk about shooting each of these guns. We already talked about rapid fire. So, rapid fire or fast fire, I like the Glock 19 better for shooting fast. Now, shooting out the distance is also important. I want a gun that can do absolutely everything. I can shoot out the distance really, really well with this gun. However, distance shooting, if I'm doing slow fire, the PDP takes the cake. This has been the most accurate gun I have ever shot. And the reason for that, yes, is because of a really good trigger, but is also because of a really good barrel in this gun. It's a tapered step-down barrel. It's supposed to aid in accuracy, and I believe it. I believe that this gun is probably one of the most accurate guns on the market, in my opinion, outside of those match-grade barrels and all the other things you have to put in. Production gun-wise, I think this is easily one of the most accurate barrels I've ever shot. The downer comes to when you have to start shooting it faster. I have found that my groups are a little bit wider with the PDP than they are with the Glock 19. Now you just have some deciding to do. So if you were to ask me which gun I prefer, I'm going with the Glock 19. I like the fact that I can shoot it a little bit faster. I like the fact that I can make hits out to range if I need to, and I really love the fact that this gun conceals really well on me. Now, it might not conceal the same on you, but it conceals really well on my body. And so that is the gun I'm going to choose for EDC on this EDC Showdown. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you got something out of it. I would recommend go out and trying both of these guns. If you don't have them, rent them at the range, shoot them, see what you think about them, because these are two really good compact options. These are actually number one and number two compact options in my opinion. It has taken me so long to decide between these two guns. Countless range sessions, countless rounds at the range to decide what exactly I wanted. I had to buy the same holster for both of these guns just to solidify my decision, but that is it. I'm going to say Glock 19 wins this one. I do have a separate video on just my Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS that I'll put at the end of this video, and I have a separate video for this Walther PDP if you're interested in checking that out. I'll be honest with you guys, between these two guns, there is no wrong choice. Both of these options are amazing options, and you guys will absolutely love these firearms. But remember to get out there, train hard, get strong, be a protector. If no one said they love you today, I love you guys. God bless you all.